question. I think I just started the stream. So we do this show live, so not everything is really on my video. Okay, we are live. Welcome to episode 57. And hold on, let me do some self promotion. I think Twitter is broken. It's showing up. We're showing up as live, but it's not posting to our feed. So, oh, there it is. It's showing up in our feed now. Um, so I just want to start. I gotta do a quick show because I can't do a full show because my kid is sick with whatever virus. And last week on Jesse Michaels, he was interviewing Joe McConicle again, and Joe McConicle was dropping negative images from JPL on Mars that were showing some pretty damning evidence um, that there was life on Mars, and we're seeing this and X, Y, and Z. Something. Okay, Richard Hoagland back in the '90s. I'm not sure if anybody around here listening to this was around. Richard Hoagland was back on Art Bell, and he was saying the same thing, but he was more interested in Sedona or whatever, and not saying that Sedona isn't real, but like when you zoom out of Sedona, that's not the only thing that looks like a pyramid in that area, which makes it more damning evidence that the face on Mars might have actually been something on there. And there was devices, bones that they've captured, and what looks like farming irrigation and land plots, same as you would see here. Um, and Jesse also pumped out another video from one of the top NASA physicists who's, I guess, I didn't watch the whole documentary, it just came out. I just caught what I guess he had jumped ship or something at one point, and was saying the isotopes that were found in some of the soil samples in Mars was indicative of a nuclear bomb or nuclear explosion. Um, and there and I do know enough about that there are certain things that you can find after the radiation has left that is indicative of a nuclear explosion. Some of it is certain. Well, I'm not going to get into it because I'm not sure if that's all public knowledge, but there are things that you can look for remnants of old nuclear explosions, and I think a lot of the desert rats out in Nevada know about that. There are people that try and scour and collect these things, but I don't want to get in. I don't want to get into it with people trying to collect minerals from old bomb sites that run on a nuclear base. But um oh god, there he is my kid. um there was today, so people were seeing that stuff on Jesse Michaels, and today Alamo, did you see those pictures I dropped in the chat?
Yeah, yeah, I'm looking at them.
So NASA didn't censor that one, and there is a floating Tic Tac on the NASA JPL Mars rover mission. It is not. It is not. It's not condensation on the mirror. It is not. It is not a reflection of something in there because it's not on the other. It's not on the other things, and it has a shadow, and it's suspended in the air. A cylindrical tube.
Okay, I'm seeing it now, finally.
Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly.
Okay.
And we have the link to it on the Mars rover mission official satellite official sorry webpage.
Now,
I
could that be what that looks odd? Like, what? Why? Almost like it's attached to the rock. Maybe it's suspended with that rock that's there. But
it's
man,
just
that just doesn't look right.
exactly. It
Now,
shouldn't be there. And there was also a censored image today from the censored picture today coming from. I'm going to put this in the chat. Censored picture that came out today on NASA, and now they are censoring. Did I send it to you? No, I didn't. Let me get it. I'm gonna save this. I didn't even save the photo. Let me see if I can get it again. There you go. I just put it in there. Now they're censoring stuff like that. They just put a big square block on something today. Yeah. You see that?
uh, oh man. Okay. Well, that's because this is a government of record, right? Just like
Yeah.
courts of record. Yeah, that's yeah, that we're you're getting to the problem here. It's,
Yeah. So, um, I've said this for a while, and so have other people, is that, a lot of us are looking maybe in the wrong places for evidence of life, instead of looking at our own backyard. And I'm not the only one that has said this. There have been proponents of SETI that said, hey, you need to start pointing these things in our solar system, I even heard about this whistleblower that said that there's some sort of ancient ship orbiting one of the moons in Jupiter, and I guess the guy committed suicide. It was some weird ass post a long time ago on 4chan, and the guy ended up committing suicide or something. But before he died, he posted that, and it said it was some ancient ship that was orbiting some moon in Jupiter. And that's not the weirdest thing. The weirdest thing is that there was a lady who was like one of the uh, pioneers of these FSB detectors, was using these antenna arrays, and was angling her stuff towards Jupiter, and was we know that Jupiter emits a lot of radiation on the EMF range, but she was detecting FSBs coming from Jupiter. I'm kind of wondering if those two stories are related, or if FRBs, sorry, if fast radio bursts.
mm, well, I would say I would say no, but I mean, there's so much radio noise coming from the like from Saturn and Jupiter. I don't know. It's not that you can't tear it apart and see
Analyze
what's
it.
analyzing it, yeah, and all that, but like well, what's causing it exactly. I don't even think they're sure exactly like the internal dynamics, at some of these pressures and so forth. So
We actually we're still confused about the type of matter that is in the center of Jupiter. We suspect it is a metallic hydrogen
yeah.
core, because atoms behave weird. Atoms behave not the way that you think that they do under pressure. Um, oh God, hold on. I need to close this. I need to go. Oh, sorry, it's my kid. I don't know if you can hear him. He's crying his head off.
No, I can't say I do.
Oh God.
The other one is that hexagon ring on Saturn.
Yeah, we don't know
They're
what
having
that
a
is either. Yeah, we don't know what
yeah,
that is either. Like aerogel. Aerogel is another example of how we don't entirely understand the what we can do with atoms. And now we're designing a cube instead of hexagonal patterns with compounds and new stuff. Now we've found a way to make three-dimensional cubes onto these atomic structures and build things that we didn't think that we were capable of doing. This is all new and cutting edge. A lot of people are not messing around with that stuff from what I've heard in the chemistry world, because it is highly unstable. But who knows? Maybe we're onto a new frontier of recreational drugs out there. Who knows? Um,
Guaranteed somebody's going to try it.
so
So
somebody's gonna make
yeah, that's
some meth with some cube
yeah,
with a cube methyl group or something on it.
the first willing guinea pig. Yeah, there'd be a line a mile long. You know,
Yeah, this guy's
for the
been up for
newest
like two
experiment.
weeks. um, speaking of which, I was listening to I've talked a little bit about these whistleblowers that have come out of these websites, social media websites. I think I did talk about the Reddit and the 4chan ones here, but I was going over. I was listening to Chris Ramsey's podcast, Debriefed or Area 52, depending on what platform you're on. Really good magician. And I was listening to him go over the Reddit whistleblower from Battelle and the 4chan whistleblower. Um, and and I think honestly, I think if you can put those two together, I think we have a hands down explanation on what the fuck we're seeing and what we are experiencing. So, according to the 4chan whistleblower from God, he was some guy who was working on these projects. Um, was on the excavation or the recovery end of the craft and not really involved with the life forms, but more along the tech that was there. And from this is bizarre. This is what we've always suspected, but like the guy was giving little hints, and this guy had died like 2 years ago, apparently, and he said, "Look back to what I say and see if I'm telling the truth." And there are things that he said during the interview, going back and forth, that we are seeing now. And what he had said is that I'm not sure if a lot of people know, but USOs are more common than people would want to know, or underwater submersible objects, or UAP, UFOs under the water. But apparently, there's about 6 or 7 what they call mega ships or factories. That's what they call them. And these are, in essence, a space age 3-dimensional printer that is using it's fully AI, fully automated. Even it's what it does is it is manufacturing the ships that we're seeing, a lot of them, not all of them, at the bottom of the ocean, and is using exotic off-world um, elements for the power source. And this might explain a lot of shit that we're seeing, why they're always seen over water, oh, specifically the ocean, why they're going in and out of the water. This guy was saying that a lot of these ships don't have bathrooms or whatever is because they're not designed to go far. They're mainly scouts. Um, they're designed to spec. And he said most of them are unmanned. Um, and this guy was making references to Bob Lazar's Element 115, which I'll go on another tangent. There's another. I've I'm not sure if a lot of people have seen the VHS tape that Bob Lazar had at one point. It might not even be on the internet anymore, but apparently Bob had some of this shit out of the lab, and I saw what he was doing, where he had a hockey puck filled with this stuff and was shooting a laser over it, and the light was bending over it, which I couldn't explain, which which might be why the FBI had raided him a second time for like no reason. But they said it was over like some paperwork related to his job, and he didn't have the correct nuclear paperwork because United Nuclear that he has, the company that he has, didn't have the proper paperwork to make these radiation sensor detectors, whatever the hell they were doing. But they were after the hockey puck apparently, and the element 115. But they not only this guy not only said that, but he said that the life forms that he that are in these ships are also made in this factory as well, which we've suspected for a while, where they're biological um, biological robots apparently. These and the guy from Battelle, the second whistleblower that was on Reddit, had also said that there was some really weird stuff with these guys' anatomy. Apparently, they don't have as many chromosomes as that. They only have 16. Um, their bones had no evidence of growth, which means that they were grown to fully mature adults. Their skin had high concentrations of copper. Their red was pretty much brown due to the high copper and high iron content. There was weird stuff with their and these are we're talking about grays. There was weird stuff on the brainstem going all the way up and down the spine. Apparently, there are these nanostructured copper implants that are sheathed onto the myelin sheath on their spine and brain that somehow allows them to interact with the psionic tech that they have with these ships, where we thought that they've been moving stuff with consciousness. It's because they probably have these implants that allow them to interact with this technology, whereas if anybody else would interact with the technology, they wouldn't be able to use it. And this is stuff that we're um God, I was baffled when I had read this stuff about 2 years ago, maybe about a year ago, but I was baffled when I had gone over the material and there was just stuff in there that we're talking about now about the psionic technology that they are probably using to control these ships and the whole Jake Barber thing. But I'm not sure if you have anything to say about that. Alamo? Uh-oh. Oh gosh. Oh, you're muted. Uh, oh no. I think he's muted. Okay. I guess there's something wrong with his
Now,
yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
okay. Well, I guess I was. Jeez.
But yeah.
What did I think about that? Let's see. Geez, you just refreshed me here. What was the?
Oh, we were
I did
talking
have a
about
thought on that. I was,
just what these two whistleblowers had said, and it kind of
the
puts a lot of
psionic. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean, that idea. I remember seeing that like in Star Trek episodes and all. I mean, that idea of wanting to could, and later on also, with like say American aircraft manufacturers, we're chasing that, like man, back in the 80s and 90s, that idea of controlling aircraft, using just your brain or so it makes sense. I mean, that's something they want to do. Even we want to do. Maybe they've just perfected it
I
or
think
have some
so.
system that works. Yeah, I was also it's similar to these like biometric locks on guns or safes, things of that order. I mean, we already kind of do that, but not in this highly tech way that, like say, we're talking of. But you already have that idea and things like that out there.
Yeah, what tripped me out is that this guy was verifying also what Bob Lazar was saying. And It's starting. Bob Lazar's having a new documentary. It's starting to say that we're starting to see a little bit that Bob was holding back a little bit, and we might be in the new documentary. There might be some new stuff that comes out that blows it all. I literally don't think Bob was making up anything. I think he embellished a little bit about certain things, but I don't think he was lying about anything.
Yeah, or maybe he didn't get as close as he thought he was getting. I don't know, man. I I've chased a few of his ideas down, and I just don't see it honestly. Like there was one of his explanations about like the anti grav with the spinning metal and all this, and I was just like, I don't know, man. I just
Oh, the
I don't see it.
cyclotron? Yeah, the cyclotron with the
Yeah,
element 115.
this and then yeah, there was what was it like? Well, that was part of it. Yeah, it's just like I mean, equipment like this, it's so heavy and it's so hard to even have on to produce even here. It's like how are you going to get that in like a mobile craft? But I mean, all that aside, it just I'm skeptical.
Yeah, the thing is that if he had a stable version of element 115, it has to be manufactured. It cannot occur naturally due to the what we've found out with the moscovium and the isotopic ratios that would be necessary. It would be completely artificial, which
Yeah,
in hand would mean that it would have extraordinary properties that we might not quite understand. We haven't really played around with shit that high up in the periodic table, so we don't know. That's the bottom line. But apparently, it doesn't have a strong gravitational force. It does have a it does apparently, according to him, it does have some weak gravitational force that is artificial, and that's what the gravity amplifiers were there for. But I do agree that maybe some of the what they have told Bob about how this thing works might not be accurate. And he said he was relaying about what was told to him. They might not completely understand what the hell it's like trying to get some caveman and giving him a Cadillac and ask him how it works, and he's telling you that the wheels go round and round. That's how it works.
yeah. I mean, he seems like a smart guy and all. Uh, I just have a problem, a few problems with some of his explanations, and well, that this whole element thing too, like you're saying the ratios, this the 115 is probably unstable. The isotopes would even be more unstable. It's just okay if you've got something engineered with that metal, it's gonna have to be exotic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just all there is to it. To do what he's saying, it's just hard to believe. I mean,
The only Who knows? Maybe they're manufacturing this stuff near a black hole, dipping it in, or some sort of energy, some sort of gravitationally dense place, like at the center of a gas giant, and manufacturing this stuff in some sort of you can do proton injection. The method that seems to be a new way instead of using these big hydrogen colliders. That's not a way to build an element. The new way seems to be this proton or electron or neutron injection method. But we're in the pioneers days of making new elements. It's not a real. It's a cutting edge science, but we can't do anything on the big scale anyway. So
yeah, and he produced so little of it. I mean, even like the matter, antimatter. I
nothing.
mean,
Yeah, nothing
yeah, it's
usable. Yeah.
such small amounts.
Well, actually
Yeah,
making antimatter is profitable. I mean, you only need a fraction of a gram to produce a huge nuclear explosion.
you know.
You don't need that much.
But look how much they spend to make the little bit they got. It's just like,
Oh
what
yeah,
is
and
it,
they
a
can't,
trillion dollars a gram or something? I mean, it's outrageous.
and we can't keep it. we can we do collect it, but it's held in a magnetic chamber, and eventually it annihilates itself.
You
Um,
know,
I think the longest I think we've kept it out is like a 10 days or some shit like that. But
yeah, they are starting to do measurements on anti-hydrogen for sure. I don't know if they've done anti-helium yet, but yeah, it's there's nothing unusual coming out of that yet.
um, put a long head here. Oh yeah, we didn't get the Epstein files we wanted. Did you hear that fiasco?
Uh, you, you, just like see the UFOs, the Epstein. Let's see what else.
We didn't get the JFK files. We didn't get that.
Yeah, oh yeah, there you go. That's another one. Yeah, just we're just not worthy, man. I have that's the conclusion I have to come to. The citizen as a citizen of the United States, I'm not worthy to know that. That's the only conclusion I can come to.
Well, one of my buddies told me that the little black book is pretty much the client list. That's all we got in. He also said that LBJ was behind the assassination, which would make sense because LBJ hated Kennedy.
Yeah, and he was. Well, you got to remember this guy. In his Texas Senate race, burned down the courthouse. When they confronted him about stuffing ballot boxes in a couple of counties, and we're getting ready to take him to court on it. He burned the courthouse down. No evidence, no trial. Right? That's how it works in good old boy Texas. Anyway, that's how he started his political career. So yeah, I mean, he was known for just being cutthroat like that. He just
Well, I'm pretty sure they're not going to release anything, and got my hopes up. And of course, you always, when it comes to government, just let your hopes get blown. They'll never produce anything.
yeah. If it
Uh,
has anything to do with what national intelligence, then you just it just drifts away. You don't get to know.
yeah,
There is that area, of secrecy where it's just like, certain things you just don't get to know. Now, like I would say that there seems to be a difference. I can see that with USO stuff. Okay, you're chasing advanced propulsion systems. You don't want the enemy to know that. That makes sense. But like the JFK files, it's like everybody's probably dead from that.
yeah, that
The,
one
the,
doesn't make
the,
sense
the
to me. Yeah,
countries, the countries could still be around that might have something to do with it, but like all the leadership, all the people, they're all fucking dead, man.
yep,
You know. So what's the deal, guys? I kind of put those different. There's secrecy around different things, and some of it makes sense. Some of it, some of it doesn't. We're just not going to tell you. Keep these slaves in line,
just like Epstein.
or they keep that control box alive. Yeah, just to let you know who's boss.
Yeah,
Hate to say that, but I mean that's just what other reason could there be? Is well, even the Epstein stuff. It's like, man, come on, this story is so old and beaten. Does anybody even care anymore? I mean, we want to know, we want to have some closure and finish the story off, but does anybody really care?
exactly.
It's just, and yet it dangles out there. I guess it has to be that never ending. It's like abortion. We have to argue about that forever now. And oh, what else? Keep everybody busy with the nonsense.
Oh yeah, just let them argue
Yeah,
over
it's
abortion. But we can't even find out our national secrets. So what happened to our defense budget? Oh yeah, that's another thing. I guess the DoD is getting audited. Now the Pentagon is just admitting they still have not identified who the fuck has been flying drones and the drone incursions over their military base, military bases. So.
Still there?
Yeah, yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah. No, your volume dropped off.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, they don't know what the drone incursions have. They don't know what the hell's been flying over their bases and shit. I can tell you one thing, they ain't human. They ain't human.
Well, they're getting lazy, man. It's just like, man, they used to, be scrambling jets for like anything, and it's like now you're gonna. What do you mean you can't get a chopper up and find out where these drones are going? I mean, just there's an element to that seems of laziness that I seem to be detecting. You see where I'm going there?
Oh yeah, yeah. They
It,
don't want to.
yeah,
And I was telling you that the fishermen were reported in Jersey with these things were coming in and out of the ocean.
okay, well, yeah, I mean okay, that's weird.
You know,
I don't doubt. There's these go back to like the stories of the old uh, voyagers, from hundreds of years ago. The crazy, drunk seamen and their stories. It's just they have the same stories, man. I mean, I want to say there were some stories about lights that were seen around the three ships that Columbus brought over here.
oh
On
yeah,
his
yeah,
trip.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
He was seeing lights like a day before he hit land.
so I mean, the USOs. I mean, that's another story. If you really chase it back, I mean, that story's been out there a long time.
Oh yeah, sailors have been reporting that stuff forever.
You know, the giant sea monsters. Well, a lot of those are real too. It's just time for some reality. I mean, everybody knows it. It's just
Yeah, I think think they just need to tell us.
the days of everybody getting patted on the head and we all just walk away, and kick rocks. That's over, man. That's
Exactly.
disgusting.
With that, actually got to roll out. Put this little kid to bed. He's sick as hell.
You know?
I'll do an hour show next time. Um, so we'll be back on the 27th.